Surprising discoveries often uncover hidden truths in the search for ancient history.
You could tell the immense size of the creature by comparing it to my head.
From frozen bodies to ancient skulls, these finds push the limits of what we thought possible. Let's look into the most unusual fossils ever discovered.
Oh my gosh, I can get an up-close look.
This discovery didn't come from a lab or a dig site, it was pure luck. In 1991, two hikers were crossing a glacier high in the Alps near the border of Austria and Italy. That's when they saw something stuck in the ice. It was a body, not from last year or even last century, but from over 5,000 years ago. Scientists called him Otzi the Iceman. His tools, clothes, and even his last meal were still with him. Later studies found he had signs of heart problems. He even carried a disease from tick bites. What seemed like a frozen hiker turned out to be one of the most shocking finds in history, an ancient man full of secrets. Viking burial site. A team in Denmark was just trying to upgrade the electrical grid, but what they found underground was something unexpected. More than 50 Viking skeletons were discovered, all surprisingly well preserved. Some even had full sets of fingers and toes.
The skeletons are so amazing. They are so well preserved. There are 5 fingers, 5 toes, and that just opens up a whole new sets of possibilities for discoveries.
One grave held a woman buried with a wagon, beads, a knife, and what looked like an amulet. Another had a brooch with pieces of Viking clothing still stuck to it. Experts now say the bodies can reveal their health, their diet, and even family links. It's rare to find so many Viking graves in one spot. This wasn't just a village. It could have been an important Viking hub lost to time.
All of us could do with knowing where we're from, and that's, for me, what's important, and also to sharing the information with the general public to make them aware of our past.
Skeleton mystery.
Ma, you see this?
No. Holy sh**.
At the Science Museum in London, there's a strange skeleton on display, and it looks just like a real mermaid. With a human-like upper body and a fish tail below, this mysterious figure has left many visitors completely shocked. It may be a leftover from old sea tales, or a carnival display from the 1800s. Or perhaps it could be the result of secret underwater research. What's strange is how real it looks. The bones are detailed, the features look natural, and it's not something you'd expect to see in a museum. Mermaid stories have existed for ages, but this skeleton feels different. Giants of Sardinia. For centuries, stories of giants living on the Mediterranean island of Sardinia have fascinated many. In 1979, archaeologists reportedly discovered multiple giant skeletons measuring 9 to 12 feet tall at the Nuragic ruins in Sardara. However, these bones were said to mysteriously disappear after being placed in the Church of St. Anastasia. Despite efforts by researchers to gain access, the giants' remains have never been fully examined. Some suggest the island's strange megalithic structures could point to extraterrestrial involvement. Could these ruins and the giants' remains reveal a hidden chapter of history? The search for answers continues. Sardinia may still hold the key to an ancient secret. Unicorn mummy. This might be the strangest mummy ever found. Inside an old wooden case with a glass top, researchers found the mummified remains of what looks like a juvenile unicorn. The preserved body measures about 28 centimeters by 16 centimeters and has spiral-shaped horns sticking out from both the head and the snout area. The case appears to be vintage, but the body inside is surprisingly intact. Experts say they've never seen anything like it before. The mysterious remains have been safely packed and sent to a lab for deeper testing and documentation. Elite Roman stables. In 2018, a discovery near Pompeii revealed a peek into the life of a Roman elite. On December 23rd, archaeologists uncovered the intact remains of a horse still wearing its harness and saddle inside the stables of a grand villa just outside the ancient city. The villa is believed to have belonged to a high-ranking military officer. Alongside the horse, skeletons of 2 other horses were also found. What made the find even more fascinating were 5 bronze artifacts and 4 wooden pieces, likely decorative, covered in thin bronze sheets. These objects suggest that the horses may have been used for ceremonial purposes. Excavations are still ongoing, but this find already showed the wealth and power held by Pompeii's elite before the eruption. Two-headed giant. In a museum in Baltimore, there's a 12-foot mummy with 2 heads. It's called Cap DWA and was supposedly found in Patagonia. The strangest part is it has a hole in its chest, almost like it was stabbed.
You're seeing right there in the chest. You can see.
Some people say it was taken down by sailors. Others think it's linked to ancient giant legends. What's even weirder is the fact that it looks strangely human despite its size. Whether it's an ancient find or something else, the mystery surrounding this two-headed giant has kept people intrigued for years.
And it said it was pierced in the chest.
Cyclops skull. Farm workers uncovered a surprising discovery in the Midwest one fall, a giant skull with a single large eye socket right in the center of its forehead. This discovery quickly brought to mind the ancient Greek myth of the Cyclops, one-eyed giants who roamed the earth. The skull, estimated to be around 3 million years old, belonged to a creature towering at 9 feet tall and weighing about 6 tons. Some believe this could be proof that Cyclops-like creatures once existed, while others suggest it might just be an elephant skull. Elephants have large cavities in their skulls that could easily be mistaken for eye sockets. Petrified turtle. In Peru, an odd rock formation has captured the attention of locals and travelers alike. A petrified turtle, or what appears to be one, is lying perfectly still. This enormous creature with its detailed shell and lifelike features has been preserved by nature for thousands of years. Seemed like this giant turtle had once roamed the earth, now turned into stone. Its size and structure suggest it could have been an ancient giant, unlike any turtle seen today. Mammoth in the soybeans. A Michigan farmer stumbled upon a remarkable discovery while working on his soybean field. Along with his friend, while digging a post hole, they uncovered ribs, a skull, tusks, and several other pieces of a mammoth skeleton. James quickly contacted paleontologists and the excavation began. The bones are estimated to be between 10,000 to 15,000 years old. But what's even more fascinating is the discovery that the mammoth didn't pass away naturally. Scientists believe ancient humans may have taken down the mammoth for its meat. Evidence, like primitive tools found nearby, supports this theory. The full impact of this discovery will be clearer after more research. Victims beneath the ash. 2 more victims of the powerful volcanic eruption and earthquake that damaged Pompeii have just been uncovered. The remains of 2 men, likely in their 50s, were found in the Pompeii Archaeological Park. These remains were discovered in an exhibit called House of the Painters at Work. The city of Pompeii was buried in 79 AD after Mount Vesuvius erupted, combined with an earthquake. The site wasn't uncovered until the 16th century. While many people passed away from hot ash, researchers believe these 2 men expired from collapsing walls and ceilings caused by the shake after the eruption. One of the skeletons was found with an arm raised to shield his face, possibly trying to protect himself. Prehistoric bones.
Very extraordinary bone.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing I've ever seen.
A paleontologist and her team made an amazing discovery in Mendes, Greece. They found bones from a very old horse called a Hipparion, and also a huge bone from a Mastadon, an ancient relative of the mammoth. At first, people thought these bones came from circus elephants that had escaped, but the truth was even more exciting. The bones were from giant creatures that lived long ago. The ancient Greeks, especially people from Euboea, probably thought these huge bones were from giants, just like in their stories of gods fighting giants. Frozen Bigfoot.
Another shot to Bigfoot, September 23rd, 1953.
In September 1953, a family made a shocking discovery in a swamp when they stumbled upon some Bigfoots. After an encounter, 2 adult Bigfoots were found lifeless. As they began examining the creatures, they noticed a smaller juvenile Bigfoot, which seemed stunned but still alive.
And all of a sudden their eyes would open up and they'd be...
They carefully moved the creature to safety and decided to keep it hidden. The juvenile, named Jimmy, was taken to an underground bunker for protection. To this day, it remains a mysterious discovery. Some say that these Bigfoots might not be from Earth at all, raising questions about their true origins.
You can see its very large hands.
Mummified Dog.
Oh my gosh. I can get an up close look.
If you get it, you just...
In Waycross, Georgia, a stop at Southern Forest World led to an unexpected discovery. Inside a hollow chestnut oak tree, a dog mummified by nature's own preservation method was found. The tree's environmental conditions, combined with a chimney effect, kept the scent of the deceased animal from attracting insects, allowing it to remain preserved. This dog, named Stucky, was mummified inside a log for decades, becoming a bizarre and rare exhibit. It's said that the person who found the log had no idea the dog was inside until they saw it, completely frozen in time.
Try to get this side up here.
Okay. Oh yeah, you can see his.
Crystal skull.
We found the crystal skull.
Inside a cave in Belize, explorers spotted signs of ancient rituals, human bones, skulls with flattened heads, and sharp obsidian blades. It was clear something terrifying had happened here over 1,000 years ago, but one discovery stood out: a human skull that had turned into crystal. Experts say it was part of a Mayan sacrifice. The victim was likely beheaded, and the skull placed carefully under dripping water with burning incense. Over time, minerals from the cave slowly turned it into a crystal-like shape. It's creepy to think about. That skull isn't just a fossil, it's like a glass window into some horrifying ritual that time never managed to erase.
An incredible picture of what's happened. These are bones.
Inca Ice Maiden. In 1999, some people were digging on a tall mountain in South America called Mount Lulailaco. That's when they found a mummy of a young Inca girl. She was sitting down, wrapped in old cloth, and looked almost alive. Even her hands were perfect. Next to her were colorful clothes, pots, and statues. Everything was still in great shape, even after 500 years. Experts think she was part of a secret Inca ritual. But the scary part is, she was left all alone on top of the mountain. And even now, she still looks like she might open her eyes. Frozen Crypt ID. Someone anonymously shared a scary video from inside a secret lab. It showed a goblin-like creature standing upright, well preserved in a glass container. Its skin looked wrinkled and pale, with closed eyes and a long, drooping nose, almost like it had been frozen in time. No one knows who filmed it or why the creature was kept like that. Perhaps scientists were hiding it. Maybe some creatures aren't just myths, they're kept locked away from the rest of us. Fossilized bite.
I mean, it's such intricate detail. The material.
In Montana, a geology student found a fossilized mosquito during a dig, but instead of ending up in a museum display, it was forgotten in storage for nearly 30 years. When researchers finally looked closely, they saw something shocking. Blood was still in the mosquito's belly. It had been trapped in oil shale for 46 million years. Scientists confirmed it was real after using special tools like X-rays and mass spectrometry. No, this won't bring dinosaurs back, but it was the first time in history that fossilized blood was found in a mosquito, and that changed how we study blood-feeding insects forever.
Look at this. Isn't it beautiful?
Oldest hominids. Most people think Lucy was the oldest human ancestor we've found, but Artie came before her. Artie's fossils were discovered in Ethiopia. These were so old that scientists couldn't even test the bones directly. Instead, they dated the layers of volcanic ash above and below her. That's how they figured out she lived 4.4 million years ago. But it wasn't just her age that shocked everyone. Her pelvis revealed she walked upright, not like an ape, but like a human. Perhaps bipedalism began much earlier than we thought. 13,000-year-old girl. Archaeologists found the oldest human skeleton in the Americas in a submerged cave in Mexico. The remains of a teen girl who passed away around 13,000 years ago were discovered, which shed light on early human migration. Researchers believe she slipped while searching for water, falling into the cave where she tragically passed. Her skeleton, preserved by rising sea levels, was found with the bones of 20 animals, including saber-toothed tigers and giant sloths, some dating back 40,000 years. This discovery supports the theory that the first humans came from Siberia across the Bering Land Bridge, marking a major milestone in understanding the origins of the first Americans. Sarapod Bone. A massive dinosaur bone was dug up in France, and it shocked even the experts. In 2019, paleontologists found a giant thigh bone over 6 feet long at the Angers-Charente site in southwestern France. It belonged to a sauropod, one of the largest dinosaurs that ever walked the planet. These plant eaters lived more than 140 million years ago and could weigh up to 50 tons. What made this find even more amazing was how well the bone was preserved. Since 2010, thousands of dinosaur fossils have been found at this site, but this femur stands out. Crocodile Tomb. During a 2019 excavation near the city of Aswan, archaeologists in Egypt made a shocking discovery inside an ancient tomb, mummified crocodiles. The tomb held 5 full skeletons and 5 skulls of large crocodiles, all dating back to before 304 BC. What's even more unusual is that these remains belong to 2 different species. Experts believe the animals were buried as part of a ritual dedicated to Sobek, the ancient Egyptian god closely linked to crocodiles and the Nile. The condition of the bones, with some still well preserved, gives new insight into the religious customs of the time. Marine fossil. One of the rarest fossil finds in Australia's outback was made when a station owner stumbled upon the skull of a 100 million year old plesiosaur, part of a long-necked marine reptile from the Cretaceous period. What made this discovery so unusual was that the skull came with part of the body still attached.
This skull actually had part of the body attached to it as well. Very, very rarely we'll find just the head.
A combination rarely found. Normally, paleontologists only recover either the head or body, not both. But this specimen gives scientists a chance to study how these ancient reptiles evolved and how many species once swam in Australia's ancient inland sea. Buried giant hands. Back in 2011, archaeologists were digging in Avaris, Egypt, when they found something terrifying: 16 hands buried in 4 separate pits. 2 pits sat right in front of a throne room, each holding 1 hand, while the other 14 were found outside the palace walls. All the hands were shockingly large and unusually long, and scientists believe they were buried during a single ceremony nearly 3,600 years ago. One theory says that soldiers did this with enemy hands to earn gold as a reward, but with their size and location, many experts think these weren't ordinary hands. They belonged to a forgotten group of giant people, possibly tied to ancient myths. Ancient mysteries. Some archaeological discoveries are just too strange to ignore. In Turkey, researchers found a giant boat-shaped formation that some believe could be Noah's Ark. In Egypt, an explorer claimed to have found a 15-inch long mummified finger, far too big for a normal human. Over in Jordan, scientists uncovered signs of a massive explosion in a city that might match the biblical tale of Gomorrah. Then there's the hunt for the Ark of the Covenant. Many have searched, but no one's confirmed it. In Mesopotamia, the remains of massive towers look a lot like the ones described in the story of Babel. Whether fact or faith, these findings definitely blur the line between history and legend. Whale under tracks. Before building new railways near the Crimean Bridge, construction crews found a fossil hidden from 10 million years. It was the skeleton of an ancient mustached whale called Cetotherium. It was found just under the surface and had massive bones, nearly 3 meters long, with visible ribs and vertebrae. Experts say this land was once the bottom of the Sarmatian Sea. Sadly, the whale's head was missing, likely lost long ago during burial. Scientists are still studying the remains, but this rare fossil will soon be in a local museum. Sea monster. Around 75 million years ago, a sea monster with 130 razor-sharp teeth roamed the oceans. It's known as a pliosaur, and a jaw fossil recently found on Dorset's Jurassic coast is bringing it back into the spotlight. This fossil is no ordinary find. It's one of the most complete pliosaur specimens ever discovered, including both the upper skull and lower jaw. The jaw was first spotted by a fossil enthusiast, and it took weeks to excavate it carefully. With a skull measuring 2 meters, this predator had the biting power of a T-Rex, able to tear through its prey with ease. The fossil is set to reveal more about this terrifying marine predator, and scientists are eager to learn how it dominated its world. Cave full of cars.
I'm just watching you do this on my camera. This is how we do.
Group of explorers went into an underground cave system, not expecting much, but deep inside, they found hundreds of rusted cars, some fully intact, with tires, windows, and rare vintage parts. No one knows how they got there or why someone would leave them like that, and then things got even stranger. One of the explorers found something that looked like a sword stuck in a stone.
I'm just exploring, just seeing everything.
Just like King Arthur's legend, they say it brought them bad luck and decided to leave it behind. The place is now known as the Caverns of Lost Souls.
That there's actually more freaking cars.
Haunted trees. Researchers deep in a forest came across something terrifying. From a distance, they noticed a tree with a strange hole, but when they looked closer, it felt like someone was watching them. Some believed it was a cursed soul trapped inside the tree, staring back at anyone who passed by. But this wasn't the only creepy part. A second video appeared online, showing a Buddha statue hidden inside a tree. You could only see it by peeking through a small hole, almost like it was never meant to be found. Whatever this is, it doesn't feel like a random forest sighting. Something about it just doesn't sit right. Sacred burial. Over on the island of Guernsey, archaeologists were checking out an old monastery site. They figured they'd find the usual stuff, maybe some broken tools or human bones. But instead, they dug up something totally unexpected. A porpoise, a full skeleton, buried neatly like it was a person. Why would monks bury a sea animal? No one really knows. Maybe they thought it was sacred, like some religious symbol, or maybe they caught it to eat and buried it to keep it fresh. Whatever the reason, it's one of those weird things the past left behind and no one has a clear answer for it. Hadrasaur Tail unearthed. A group of excavators in northern Mexico made a crazy find, something you don't see every day. They uncovered a 16-foot long dinosaur tail, completely preserved in the ground. This wasn't just any fossil. Experts believe it came from a hadrosaur, a duck-billed dinosaur that lived about 72 million years ago. The tail had around 50 vertebrae still intact, and that's just the beginning. Archaeologists think the rest of the dinosaur's body might still be buried nearby. If they're right, we're talking about one of the most complete dinosaur fossils ever found in Mexico. Who knows what else is hiding under the surface? Biggest dinosaur ever. Back in 2016, in Neuquén, Argentina, researchers found something massive buried in the ground. A dinosaur that could be the largest ever discovered. This giant sauropod lived around 98 million years ago, and its fossils stretch an incredible 40 meters in length. That's not all. Its bones alone are estimated to weigh about 70 tons. Since 2015, archaeologists have been carefully digging up this huge find, trying to piece together what might be the true king of dinosaurs. Ancient footprints. This discovery from New Mexico might be the scariest of all, because it rewrites human history. At White Sands National Park, experts found human footprints pressed into ancient layers of clay and sand. But these weren't just old, they were 23,000 years old. That's thousands of years earlier than what history books ever claimed. The footprints were found alongside those of giant sloths and mammoths, hinting that humans once walked with them. Maybe we weren't the last to arrive. We've been here longer than anyone ever admitted. Survived skeleton. This rare skeleton was hidden for years until the museum brought it back during a big celebration. During the 204th anniversary of the National Museum of Brazil, people finally got to see a giant sperm whale skeleton that was dug up in 2014. This male whale was massive, about 15.7 meters long, but what makes it more mysterious is what happened in 2018. A huge flame ruined 90% of the museum's 20 million objects. Somehow, this giant whale skeleton survived. Dino Superstar. Tristan Otto is one of the best preserved T-Rex skeletons ever found. It was discovered in Montana in 2012. This massive dinosaur lived 66 million years ago. Around 4 meters tall and 12 meters long, Tristan Otto was bought by a Danish investment banker and his partner, who named it after their sons. After its successful display in Berlin, the skeleton was moved to Copenhagen in 2020. The real skull is too fragile for display, so a cast is shown on the body. Known for its powerful jaws and sharp teeth, this T-Rex could crush a car with ease. Tristan Otto is now the star of the King of Dinosaurs exhibit and will return to Berlin in 2021. Fossilized brains. An explorer made a creepy discovery: 2 fossilized brains. The first one still had bones stuck to the back and even had what looked like bite marks. That alone was strange enough, but then he found another one, almost identical. Both looked way too detailed to be just rocks. The shape, the texture, it all pointed to one thing: actual brains. But here's the thing, scientists say brains don't fossilize. They're too soft, too quick to rot. So how did these survive for thousands or maybe millions of years? If these really are brains, someone or something went through a lot of trouble to preserve them. Perhaps we're not the first ones to study them. Maybe someone else already did. Whale of the past. Thailand have made an extraordinary find when archaeologists found an almost complete whale skeleton dating back 5,000 years. It was discovered near Bangkok. The skeleton includes 36 vertebrae stretching from the tail to the neck, along with the left shoulder, fin, rib cage, and skull. This rare discovery is the only known whale skeleton of its kind in Asia, and its condition is remarkable. The excavation began when a cyclist noticed a large vertebra sticking out of the ground about 12 km from the coast. Researchers have now managed to piece together about 90% of the skeleton. Further studies and carbon dating will provide more insights into the whale's exact age. Giant turtle. During an ordinary dig in Colombia's Tatacoa Desert, researchers came across a fossil that left everyone speechless. A turtle as big as a car, named Stupendimes geographicis. This ancient giant lived millions of years ago and had a shell over 9 feet long. The fossil showed horn-like structures near its neck, suggesting male turtles may have used them to fight. One fossil even had a crocodile tooth stuck in it. Proof that these giants didn't have an easy life. We've all seen turtles, but nothing prepares you for the size and mystery of this one. Mastadon tusk. It was April 2024, and fossil hunter Alex Lundberg made a huge discovery off the coast of Venice, Florida. A 4.5-foot long mastodon tusk weighing 70 pounds. The tusk, found 25 feet underwater, is believed to belong to a mastodon, an ancient relative of the mammoth and elephant, though it could also be from a mammoth. This discovery adds to a growing collection of Ice Age fossils found in the region, including mammoth teeth and ancient jaguar bones. Florida law requires fossils found on state land to be reported to the Florida Museum of Natural History. Lundberg is waiting for the museum's evaluation of his find to determine its significance. Ida's secret legacy. A fossil discovered 47 million years ago is changing how we understand human evolution. Known as Ida, this primate is the most complete fossil ever found. For 2 years, scientists secretly studied her remains, which include human-like features such as thumbs, big toes, and fingernails. Ida is believed to be a key link in the evolutionary chain that connects early primates to humans. Found in a volcanic lake in Germany, the fossil's preserved state is incredible, even allowing scientists to test her last meal. Ida's not just any ancient creature, but a key player in the story of how we became human. Open discussion.
Immense. The Bigfoot head alone weighs.
A man came forward with something shocking. His father had encountered a Bigfoot back in 1953. Since then, the parts have been kept frozen in a commercial freezer. He showed the massive head on camera, saying it weighs around 120 pounds.
The Bigfoot head alone weighs 120 pounds, give or take.
You could even see the eyes and the strange grin on its face. It's not in a lab or behind glass, it's in his house. And soon, it'll be part of a Bigfoot museum and theme park.
It weighs about 120 pounds.